Hi there, Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies talking about niching. And I just had a call with my mentorship clients. And while I was talking with them, I done a video recently about how one of the best ways to tell if you have a good niche is that you tell your friends, I'm thinking about focusing on this as a niche. And they say, well, duh, of course that's your niche, because that's so obvious to them. But why is it so obvious? Here's how it seems to me. It's you can't see the pattern in advance. But when you look back over your life, you do see a pattern. When you look back over your life, you can say, oh yeah, well, of course I'm doing this work in this niche because look at all the things that happened to me. Of course that delivered me here. So for me, in my younger days, I did a lot of the pushy, aggressive, sales and marketing stuff. And so of course I have Marketing for Hippies. Of course that makes sense. Of course I would be doing this given what I went through. People go through health challenges and become holistic health coaches. Well, of course, given what they went through, makes a ton of sense. So if you remember, in the early 2000s, I think there were those things, it was on a piece of paper and it was a bunch of lines and there was no particular pattern when you looked at it. But if you stared at it and defocused your eyes, suddenly like a 3D image would jump out. That's what figuring out your niche is like. You have to look back over your whole life and you stare at the pattern of your whole life and you don't see a pattern at all. It all seems random and sometimes unkind and unfair. But you stare at it for a while and something jumps out. If you're lucky, something appears as, oh my God. And sometimes it's almost frightening of my life was this perfect education. It's exactly what I needed to do this, what I'm doing now, or the thing I want to do, or that, of course, that's the niche to focus on. So this woman in my mentorship program, she's focused on helping people who grew up in fundamentalist Christian homes who are at that point where they rebelled against all that Christian programming. They thought they were free of the conditioning, and now they're realizing, oops, not free of it at all. It's still there. So, and when she shared that with her husband said, well, of course, that's your niche. So, but why was it so obvious to both of them now? Why? Because they stared at this thing of her life, and that's the image that jumped out. But if there's nothing written on the page, if there's no ink on the page, then there's no image to jump out. If you're too young, if you haven't had enough experience, if you haven't put some time in, if you haven't gone through the years of wandering in the desert, in a seemingly random fashion, to put the ink on the page, there's no chance for an image. So niching does take some time. I think for people in their early 20s, it's probably hard. If you're a teenager, give up. There's not enough ink on the page. You just have to, wander around in those sands in the desert for a while, feeling lost probably. But then you get up to a hill and you look back and you can see all your tracks. Yeah. Not yet covered up by the winds. And as you look at the tracks, something jumps out, and there it is. That's your niche. So it's because people say, oh, God, I wish I could have seen it sooner. Now the truth is sometimes we could have seen it sooner by reflecting on it, but could have seen it sooner. There might not have been anything to see yet, is the reality. So just to have some mercy on yourself. It's easy to beat ourselves up like, why didn't I see this before? Maybe there wasn't enough ink on the page. Maybe nobody, with those pieces of paper too, there's a way you have to look at it. There's a sort of soft focus. This is actually really appropriate for niching. There's a soft focus. You have to defocus your eyes a little bit. If you try to find it, you don't see it. But if you soft gaze and you just let your eyes rest on it, go in and out of focus a bit, bam, suddenly it's there, and it wasn't there before. So that's a lot of, niching requires a kind of soft gaze. Niching requires a stepping back, defocusing a bit, and letting it emerge. So there's a thought, hopefully that's confirming or affirming or inspiring in some way. For what your niche might be. So if you need help with niching, of course, you can check out nichingspiral.com. I've got a lot of resources there, free stuff. There's an ebook, The Niching Nest, that might help, a home study program that can be useful. And please click the subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube, and then a little bell will go. If you click on that, you'll get updates whenever my videos appear. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please like my page and check out the other videos on the video tab on the left-hand side. There you go. And if you have any questions about about niching and things you're wondering about, please feel free to put a comment below. Maybe there'll be another video that comes out of it just for you. All right, take care.